going on, everybody? It's your boy D from DNC Digital, back with another Instagram Live at a special time. It is only 4 o'clock Central Time, so it's a definite, different time of day that we're doing this. But I hope everybody's doing good. Maybe everybody's getting off of work right now. Everybody's, probably getting home. Ryan Romano, always first in line. How you doing, sir? Hope all is well. Today we're going to be talking to Rache Chanel. She's going to be facing Red Velvet this Friday in just 3 days. In Buda, Texas, for Mission Pro Wrestling's Run It Back. Helping my niece with her homework. Hey, no problem, man. You tell the little one I said what's up. And she got a great uncle. Let her know that. But yeah, Mission Pro Wrestling, Run It Back in Buda, Texas, live from Pinball's Kingdom. And it's going to be streaming live on the Title Match Network because it has been sold out. Totally sold out. And rightfully so, because this is an amazing company that I'm proud to be sponsoring. Every position in this company is held by a woman. And that's one of the coolest things ever. It's spearheaded by Thunder Rosa. You got Jazz backstage. You got Robin Reed as the booker. This Friday we have Shaul Guerrero as the special guest ring announcer. It's gonna be a cool night. It's gonna be a very empowering night for people who have not seen what Mission Pro Wrestling can do, especially for the women. And like I said, today we're gonna talk to Rache Chanel. She is faced this Friday, and that should be an interesting one. Because we've seen her on AEW Dark. We've seen Red Velvet on AEW Dark. And here she is. How you doing, Miss Chanel?
How's it going?
Everything's so cool. It's very, very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
I feel like I have a kinship with you a little bit because when I started dating my girlfriend, I got more into fashion, more about caring how I present myself out there.
Okay.
It's really cool because when we go shopping, I do more damage than she does. I cannot be unsupervised in a clothing store because, like, we'll split off. She'll go to the ladies section, I'll go to the men's section. I come back with a bunch of jeans and a bunch of shirts and sweaters, and I just have this look on my face like, "Hey, babe, found some stuff." And she's like, "God," she's like, "Let's see, let's go through the."
Right.
We kind of hold a tournament between all the clothing because I have to show her every clothing, and she's like, "Put that in that pile, put that in that pile, let's put it in this pile." And I just started a new job where I wearing a lot of office clothing, and I just came from there. That's why I'm dressing all that. And she just had so much fun dressing me up, shopping for stuff, and it was a good time. Let us know what about fashion made you gravitate toward it? And not just as a woman, but I mean, you really are into the fashion world. Can you tell us about that?
Well, Rache Chanel is from Paris, France. So I'm just trying to kind of incorporate a little of the French culture. Fashion Week is normally in France. So just trying to have some of the, something different that I can kind of bring to fans and wrestling in general.
Can you tell me about this crazy? I forget what it's called, but it's a boot to the face when they are in the corner, like on the bottom rope. You say smooches. You have this runway walk to the other side of the ring, and it's just. Can you tell us how you came up with that, and tell us more importantly how important it is to incorporate characteristics in such a simple move?
Yeah, well, it kind of my previous gimmick, I was doing a baseball player. And so what I would do is, like, for each of the turnbuckles, I would kind of throw the ball up, knock it out the park, and then hit each of the turnbuckles. And then when I came to the last base, I guess, I would come in with the running boot to the face. But it's more like a designer boot that I'm calling it.
It's a designer boot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a playoff of that, the baseball character, but it's just now it's Rache's gimmick now.
You talk about the baseball character. Can you tell us the difference and how we got from Raquel Vaughn to Rache Chanel?
it's a whole different spectrum what we're looking at. But this one, like more of just like growing up, I like the baseball movies like Major League and Angels in the Outfield. I like baseball movies and things like that. So I was more like me like having a kid moment, I guess, and bringing that side of me out. But this one also kind of brings the side of me because I used to watch Living Single. So Regine was my favorite character. So this is more on her and more like Whitney Houston and Bodyguard type thing. So it's more of a grown up, side for the character. But it's just a different, more of a higher part of me, I guess. More exaggerated.
Can you tell us how you transitioned something like that from pop culture to the wrestling world? Because I remember having a conversation with a wrestling buddy of mine, and he's like, "You can take anything in Hollywood and put it into wrestling." And I'm like, "Can you elaborate more on that?" And he talked about the Lion King, and he's like, "Can you imagine if this guy is the veteran and he has his kid, and then this guy's best friend takes him out, and now the kid has to avenge his trainer?" And I'm like, "Wow." And then he went into Toy Story, and he's like, "What if there was one guy who was like the talk of the town, and then we got this one cool guy coming in, and they face off, but then they end up being a tag team?" And I'm like, "Wow, bro, like you're blowing my mind. You're taking elements from The Bodyguard. You're taking elements from Hollywood. How do you get that stuff from pop culture, and how do you make it translate into the wrestling world?"
Well, I'm a very reserved person. And so I would just watch people on TV, and I'm like, deep down, I'm like, I wish I can do those things. And so I can't, I'm not like going to Hollywood right now, but I can just, in my character in wrestling, I can portray that, knowing that it's not really who I am, but it's because like I wanted to be that when I was younger. But like now I have the opportunity through wrestling to be something over the top, like something over the top that's, fictitious. And like so not who I am, but it's fun to be something I always wanted to be. But no, in real life you can't just I'm raging and I can't normally in real life I can't do that.
You can't just kick people in the face, I want to repeat something you just said though. You say that you're portraying somebody you've always wanted to be, right?
Right.
Okay, I want to make sure that I got that correctly. When people are playing characters in the professional wrestling industry, do you feel like that character is more them than they are themselves in the real world?
Well, when I was kind of coming up, learning about character, things like that, it was more just take a part of yourself and just turn it up to 10. Like,
yeah. I lost you for a second. Are we good? Okay, now we're good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, I lost you for a second.
That's okay. That's
the
okay.
last part we got was that you take a little part of yourself, turn it up to 10, and then go ahead.
Okay, so you just take a part of that. Take a part of that character. It's fictitious. We get it. But if you can turn it up to 10, and like the fans believe that you really are that. Like you transform into the character, then the fans can be like, "Oh, it's real, it's authentic." Like they really believe. Like once you come through the curtain, like that person comes out just 100% fully committed to that character, to the persona, and then go through the curtain, and then like it's just a regular normal person, like back to normal. I guess right after the curtain.
It's interesting you say that because the world of professional wrestling, as fans, we're supposed to walk in there and suspend our disbelief because. I think it was Al Snow. I remember speaking with Al Snow in our interview. I interviewed Al Snow. He said, once I throw somebody to the ropes and they come back, you're already suspending your disbelief. So how do you take our mentality of that and maybe a little cynicism, and how do you make them believe a character? How much work goes into making the audience believe your actual character?
Wow. Like the fans, and they sit there, like I said, they can kind of filter through. Like when they feel it from the wrestler has to believe it more than the fan believes it. because like if the wrestler doesn't believe it, then nobody else can believe what they're doing. But like when I walk through the curtain, I really believe. You know, I've been in Houston from Bodyguard. I'm Regina from Livingston. Like I believe that 100%. And then when I go back through the curtain, I'm just I'm me. I'm not
was that good?
a quiet, shy person. But the wrestler has to believe that, though.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, and it's just like any job. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you probably won't be selling the product. And that's exactly what you guys are selling. Rocha Multimedia, which is another sponsor, is joining the chat. What's going on, Rocha? So another tidbit that I've learned about you, I want to see what kind of reaction this gets out of you. I have an 11-year-old. I have an 11-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And her name is Estelle.
Oh.
Can you tell us who Estelle is in your world?
Okay, one moment. Okay. Okay, everyone, this is Estelle. Estelle is resting right now because she will be in action on Friday. But right now she's, she's enjoying her break. But this is one of my favorite wigs, Estelle. I named them because I'm being extra.
you name every one of your wigs?
I'm trying to, yes.
Really?
Yes. So this is London Camille.
London Camille.
Yes.
She's beautiful. Thank you. London's very, very pretty. London looks diverse. I can say that.
Thank
you. There was a really cool documentary that Chris Rock produced called "I Hate My Hair." I think it was called "I Hate My Hair," or it was about the wig industry, and it was about how the black community spends just an insane amount of money on these beautiful wigs, and it went through the entire process and all that stuff.
Wow.
Can you tell us about your appreciation for the art of making a wig and what that can do for a woman's self-confidence?
I think it kind of boosts our self-confidence a lot, because like it's kind of like just adding makeup on and actually extra lashes and just other things just to it's cosmetics. So it's just anything that kind of enhances our beauty is kind of going to build us up, I guess, more so on the inside and on the outside. It just makes you feel good about yourself, especially if like it really highlights your features. And like, women, we kind of have our own little, it makes this look good and this. So we kind of like to play around, and I do a lot of wig shopping. So like sometimes I do, kind of take some time to find what works, what doesn't look good. And
I'm looking it up now. It's called Bad Hair Day. So if you ever want to look that up, that's really interesting, because they even like traveled to India to like show like a factory where just a bunch of women are donating their hair, and it's a crazy it's a crazy process that I never really knew about. Moving on, you've made appearances on AEW Dark, and we're gonna get into your matches in just a second. One thing I do want to get into is the fact that you can be seen when there's a different match going on. You're in the crowd, and you are reacting to every clothesline, every bump. There was a part where Abaddon was chopping somebody, and you were hiding behind somebody like this.
Yes.
And it made me think of something really interesting. Even though you're not in a match, you're being noticed. So can you tell me how, in the professional wrestling industry, how important it is to maximize your minutes every time you're seen on the TV screen?
Well, like the TV time is short and things of that nature. But, when you have an opportunity to be on TV, and like I've got the wig on, I have the outfit on, I'm in the gimmick. Even if I'm by the crowd, like in the crowd, just sitting there, I'm watching the match, the camera can still probably catch my reaction. So like if you can get that, just keep reacting, always selling, always, because like it really wouldn't do me anything. Like Abaddon, if I was just sat there watching Abaddon, but I'm like, I believe in her character. So I'm like, I don't really want to be. Let me hide. Because it's just this my normal reaction wouldn't be just to sit there and just watch a match. So like, but just to react to like, oh my god, like hold up, I don't want none of this. So just to react will kind of help make it seem like even the person in the crowd is scared of this person. So like she must really be who she, who she really is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Just reacting, yeah.
I used to watch. I love watching Rache sing Judas into her comb at ringside.
Thanks, Peter.
I was gonna get into that. That was. I remember seeing it, and I'm like, not. It took me out of it. I was like, is that a comb?
Yes. Well, that just me being extra, the camera's gonna catch it.
When you talk about making sure that you play your part and believing what's going on, it reminded me of when I played I did security when I was training for a promotion locally. And I remember, I'm not going to name any names, but a certain wrestler came out that is supposed to strike fear into you, you know? Okay. So he walks up to one of the security guards, and the security guard is like, what? And he steps up to him. And then when he came up to me, I kind of like, he was getting close to me, and I kind of just, I didn't want to make eye contact, and I was backing up kind of like this and looking up. And after the show, he came up to me. He goes, "Hey, good job." And I was like, "Thanks for what? What did I do?" And he's like, "No, your reaction to me worked because that's actually putting over my character." And I was glad enough to help on that aspect. But yeah, like sometimes I'm watching the match and I see you look like one of those people that direct the airplanes. Like you're doing and I was like, who is that person over there? And then to find out it was you, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm interviewing her. Definitely animated.
Thank you.
That was great. So I want to go to the beginning of your career for just a second, because it ties into Mission Pro Wrestling. You got to share the ring with Jazz and Thunder Rosa a few times, and they are part of Mission Pro Wrestling. With it being the more earlier years in your career, how did you feel working with those women?
Well, the interesting thing was I worked them back to back. So it's like a Friday night. I was working against Thunder Rosa, and I'm like, I was still kind of like, oh my god, this is a really big match. I'm like I gotta take this very seriously. And the next day, my opponent didn't show up. So I was in Louisiana. We didn't know what was going on. The promoter was like trying to find someone last minute, and then he booked Jazz. And so I always looked up to Jazz because like we're both from New Orleans. And so like as a young girl, that was my person that I looked up to, that I could really kind of relate to. But I back to back working both. I'm like, it was surreal just having those two matches back to back.
When they told you that, hey, I got. Your opponent is out today, but I got Jazz for you. Like, what was your like? You said Jazz, like Jazz.
Jazz. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Like, praise the Lord. But yes,
how was her reaction after the match?
Well, it was just I was asking for feedback, and it was more. I was just kind of trying to do what I was told, that kind of thing, respectful. But she was like, I didn't know you had the baseball gimmick. And she was like, well, I was just trying to, work a match, be respectful, not trying to get myself forward, like not trying to do anything. But she was like, I wish I would have known that, because we could have did more things, playing off of, the gimmick and stuff like that.
You got a few fans in here.
Okay.
Well, that's the handle. Queen Chanel's Almond Milf is yelling.
Okay, what's up?
That's the name. That's not what I'm calling her. It's just I'm just reading what it says. Okay, so
Does
J3
Rache
Customs
have
has
a go-to customizer?
Yeah, go-to customizer.
No, I do not.
Very good question.
Okay, slide in the DMs. Slide in the DMs.
J3 Customs makes sneakers and and some footwear.
Okay.
And some of the, I mean, hey,
I can do something.
I just started following him, and looks like good stuff. He complimented my mustache, so I had to go and show some.
Okay.
When I got to know Jazz, I was also approaching her for an interview, and So she, we were messaging back and forth, and then she just goes, "Here, take my number because I'm hardly on social media." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And then I also do a little bit of graphics arts on the side. So I showed her a poster that I made for her, and it was when she announced her retirement. I decided to make a poster for her, and so I showed it to her. She's like, "Thank you so much." And I was like, "Hey, would you be okay if you signed one for me?" And she's like, "Really, bro? Really? You have to ask? Of course I'll sign it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to get you upset. Like I'm
Yeah.
still used to. I'm not used to being one of your friends." You got another question here. MC Cusker, 1995. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Favorite Christmas film? That's a good
Ooh.
question.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me look something up right quick, and then I'll come back.
I'll
Come
probably
back.
I'll probably
Oh
just
my
say
goodness.
I'll probably just say Home Alone or
Hmm.
Home Alone or Jingle All the Way was good.
Santa Claus is good.
The
The
Santa
Santa
Claus
Claus
was
is
good.
good.
I'll give the Santa
Okay.
Claus some credit. But it's a wonderful life if you want to go back. You know, my
Okay.
boy
He
Aldo
gave me
Nava, who you'll
permission.
also be my boy Aldo Nava, you'll also be meeting this Friday because he works with me.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite wrestling moment as a fan?
Moment. Oh, okay. I do have one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so WrestleMania 25. It
Okay.
was in Houston at NRG Arena, and
Hmm.
so during the
Lost you again. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
WrestleMania 25, when Shawn Michaels against Undertaker, I was in the building and I completely marked out. So like that
What
was
was
my favorite wrestling moment
Geez,
as a fan.
what were those near falls like in person?
And I was like, at one point, I think when he kicked out of the tombstone, I was like, he might just break the streak. Like I was like, this might be it.
It might
And
be
like
it,
right
might be done.
after the match, I left. I was like, this is everything. This is everything.
Can you tell me what the energy was like after Undertaker did the dive and Sim Snuka
Yeah,
missed him?
man, it kind of went quiet on that part because like it was kind of scary. It looked really
Yeah.
bad, so it was kind of like, I'm
You know
glad he
what?
got got back up.
To that
Okay.
point, is there any point in a wrestling match where you kind of snap out of your character out of concern for your opponent? Maybe if something maybe went wrong.
Yeah. Well, sometimes if that's the case, I kind of relate to the ref and kind of see, okay, is that person okay? Because you don't want to just up and break the gimmick. So like I
Yeah.
would like talk to them like, is everything okay? Was good? Stuff like that. But I think that's probably my best out that I would do. Kind of
A
talk
lot
to
of
the ref
people
and
don't
certain.
understand that. A lot of people don't understand the importance of the referee as being the third character in there to relay
Right.
messages between each other, to keep time, to say I don't want to pull the curtain out away too much, but definitely a lot of
Yeah.
importance for the ref to be there. Peter Pereira,
Okay.
excuse me. If you can join one faction, what would it be? And I'm sorry, let me get the last part. I'd love to see you in Team Taz. You and Ricky and AEW
Oh.
would be cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of like to be in Team Taz because me and Ricky Starks were both from New Orleans, and like he does the fashion thing, but I do fashion too. So I think we can make something work with Team
You see what I
Taz.
what I think I can't do is those the short leg pants with the no socks. I don't know if I can pull that off. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You gotta see
Um,
what works for you.
Definitely. You
Favorite?
mentioned that you're from New Orleans.
Yes.
I'd like to know if my girlfriend and I ever go visit because I love food.
Okay.
Where would you
Right.
go?
Oh
Where would
my.
you take us? Where would you take us to get a authentic New Orleans experience? I need to know. I need to know.
Okay. Copeland's is where you need to go.
Okay.
that's that's the first place. But like there's like so many good places, even on like random street corners where you can
Yes.
get a good po' boy somewhere. I'm like, it's not even like name brand. It's just like
Uh-huh.
just go to a corner store and just get something off the menu. And
I,
it's
I'm
still
a big
good.
fan
That's
of
the
I'm a big fan of mom and pop shops, little holes in the
yeah.
wall. because that's where they put their foot in that food. Like,
oh my,
that's the kind of stuff that sticks to your ribs, as my uncle would say. You know. All right, I need to just
I
go
can't
take
think
a flight.
about
I
it.
need to take a flight
I'm
already.
trying to go paleo and vegan over here, okay? So I don't need to be thinking about po' boys.
All right, let's wrap it up by talking about Mission Pro Wrestling. What do you think, as a woman, they're going to be doing for women in the future of pro wrestling?
I mean, it's just such a good time to be in wrestling because like we started with the whole women's revolution going on, and it just evolved, and women's wrestling is on a whole different level. And so like it's just inspiring the next generation is what we're doing, and kind of just the opportunities. I'm thankful for Thunder Rosa and Robin for giving me this opportunity, and Jazz. It's such a good atmosphere. It's so positive for the women's wrestling in general.
It kind of parallels AEW with the Dark Project, because not everybody on Dark is somebody who's signed. It's usually people getting chances, getting their name out there, and immediately, if you get that platform, even if you have just one match on Dark, your audience expands just from that one match.
Right. So I think that's kind of what helped me out so much. So I'm grateful for every opportunity to try to maximize the opportunities that I get, even in the crowd, like even making the most of every opportunity. That's just something I've learned from being on Dark.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or if you're up to speed, but MJF, his scarf has his own media account. Yeah.
What's up, MJF scarf?
I have gotten to know that scarf, and he is saying, "Please kick Lil Brand's ass." It's crazy that a scarf would say that,
Yeah.
So you and Red Velvet this Friday, December 11th,
Yeah.
Mission Pro Wrestling, run it back. I cannot imagine now, getting to know you, the amount of sass that's going to be in that. Like, there's going to be so much hair flipping and so much attitude, and I can't wait. It's going to be a great night for everybody watching there. Hey, the scarf is going to be there. Awesome.
I will be there.
For everybody watching, it's already sold out. And if you have tickets already, it's going to be at Pinball's Kingdom in Buda, Texas. All CDC guidelines and precautions will be taken. Temperatures will be taken at the door. Please, guys, wear your masks. And social distancing will be enforced for those that cannot make it, or for those that are a little uncomfortable with everything that's going on. Totally understandable. It's going to be streaming on the Title Match Network live. Make sure you guys follow Mission Pro Wrestling Title Match Network. If you're following Rache, click my name right here and follow me. And if you're following me, Buda, I'm sorry, Scarf, Buda. I guess I pronounced it wrong. It's Buda and not Buddha. I'm going to keep on calling it Buda. If you're following me and you're not following Rache, make sure you follow her up there. This is also going to be on YouTube, so guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Please wear your masks. Be nice to each other. Be nice people. Take care of each other and take care of yourselves. I'm out.